show everybody here is how we install WordPress manually. It makes it the easiest way to run WordPress for the setups that we have using the Ninja Web Tools. And it also prevents you from having any limitations imposed on you by your web hosting company. I know in the past we've had a dozen or so tickets where people said that our plugins were not working, and when we investigated it, our team members found that the web hosting company had installed limiters in the form of drop-ins, and you generally get that when you use the auto installers, such as auto installers. Let me just go back here to the home of this one. Hopefully, I'll log back in again. So if you did use the hang on a second, guys. Somebody just try to shut that off for a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so if you're using the Fantastico or any other auto installer, you run the risk of your hosting company actually putting some extra limitations on your WordPress install. So what I've gone ahead and done here is uploaded WordPress to this site, and I'm going to show you the changes we make to the back end of WordPress to make sure that it is running smoothly and as locked up as much as we can possibly do. Now, once we installed WordPress, we actually lock it up tighter than I'm going to show you tonight, but about I want to say about 85% of the lockdown that we do is what I'm going to show you. And what we do is on the back end of our computers here. Let me get to the right screen here. Let me see. I had a window for all this stuff. Hang on a second, find it. So what we do is we set up a lockdown version of WordPress, and this is what we upload manually. What I'm going to recommend that everyone does is when you download WordPress for the first time to set it up, you go to wordpress.org/latest.zip, and that will download the latest version of WordPress that's available. So right now it'll download 3.9.1 for you. And what you're going to want to do, and I actually have that on my desktop, so I'm going to show that to you on the desktop. So I have that on the desktop, and when WordPress you first download WordPress, it's going to have a file wp-config-sample, and we're going to what we do is we turn this into an actual config file, and then we upload all the files. We download this file again. We change it once it's on the server so that we can have the standard secure process of installing WordPress manually done and in place so that we don't have to fiddle with stuff every time. Now, a few things that we do out of the box. When you first download WordPress, you're going to see a readme.html file and a license.txt file in there. The first thing we do is we delete these files. And the reason we delete these files is because hackers are looking for they're going to do a search on the web looking for anyone that has any text that looks like this installed on their site. They'll look for the information that's in the README file, and they'll look for the information that's in the license.txt file. And once they find your site that you still have these files in place, it makes your site a little bit more of a target for them to go after. So first thing we do is we delete these files. And to prevent from boring you guys to death, I should probably ask Lori to see if I'm talking slowly enough. I think she said something about she was going to be drinking wine. So Lauren, am I talking too fast? Maybe she's okay. So we're first going to go ahead and do that, and then the next thing we're going to go and do is we're going to just remove the sample on this, and then this is just going to become our config file. And then we're going to upload that into the server. So I've already gone ahead and uploaded everything over to the server that Lori's letting us use. And I'm going to go into that server. And I'm going to open up that config file. And we'll show you the changes we're going to make to that config file. So I've actually downloaded the file, and here's some changes we're going to make. Okay, let me backtrack here. Let's see. Oh. Let me open that sample file again real quick and show you what that sample file looks like and the changes you're going to make to that file. I'm just going to make this a -1 because I already have a file open to start the changes process. So but when you upload it here, it's going to be wp-config.php. So obviously, as you know, for those of you that have not installed WordPress manually, you're going to put your database name in this first box, your username and your password here, and then in most cases, you're going to leave this to say localhost. When we do the stuff on our servers for Rackspace, we actually have, instead of using localhost, we actually have a dedicated database server. And so to use faster databases, we actually have a string that looks kind of like this, which is our string. Then the next thing you're going to do is, this is after you've downloaded the file. So the first thing you're going to leave this kind of file, let me backtrack here. When you first set up your folder, which is going to be all your files in WordPress, that is going to be your go-to folder to upload to the server for all future installs of WordPress. You're going to make some changes in this WP config file before you upload it for the first time. Okay, so when you upload it for the first time, one thing you're going to do is you're going to change this table prefix here. Every single hacker out there that's looking to hack your WordPress website is looking for a database table that starts with WP underscore. So change it to anything you want. I suggest 3 or 4 characters. You can do your area code if you wanted. You can do, it just basically has to be letters and numbers and no special symbols. So, sometimes I'll put Ziggy's name in there, and it'll be Ziggy. Sometimes it'll be Zig4, or it could be 512, which is my area code, and a letter. Doesn't matter what it is, just change it away from WP. It's not going to affect how WordPress works on your server, but it will be that one first roadblock to preventing people from hacking your WordPress site and making you easy prey. So you'll put that in there first. And this is before we've uploaded all the files to the server. Then we're going to add some additional instructions on this file. I'm going to grab those additional instructions from the bottom of this file because we put it on all of ours. So we're going to add this Security Ninja code that we put in, and we're going to put that on the bottom of this file. And what this essentially does is it turns off the ability for the XML to be on. So you will not be able to use the XML to automatically update your WordPress site. It's also good to have that turned off in any way, shape, or form because it's an easy way for people to hack into your site. The other thing we're doing here is we're turning off any errors so that if somebody actually tries to get to your site and as they're on your site, they start seeing some errors that PHP is disabled or XML PC is turned off, etc. That gives them clues of how they can now hack your site based on various errors that WordPress throws up for them. So if you turn the errors off, they won't see those errors, and it's kind of like having a club on your steering wheel in your car. If you're in a parking lot and you have no alarm on your car and no club on your steering wheel, then your car is easy prey in a parking lot for people to break into. But if your car's got one of those big clubs across the steering wheel, well, thieves can still break in and break out that club and still drive away with your car. You're not as easy prey as the people that aren't making these changes. So we're making these changes to make our site a little bit harder to break into, just to make sure across the board that we're covering 85% of the would-be hackers out there from breaking into the site. So once we've made this change, now we save the file, and then once this file is saved, this would be the file that we would upload with all of our files the first time when we manually go to WordPress and we upload the files to our server. So that's what this file looks like right here. This is the one I just put on Lori's server, and I've since added the database. I've added a database name and password. Obviously, you want to use a complex-ish password for your database. The longer the better, the more complex the better. Like I said, we don't use localhost. And I'm not sure with the process when you're doing it through, when you're going through a normal install using the Fantastico or any other self-installers, they're not letting you pick your own salt keys. And so these salt keys, these are the keys right here that are different keys that are authenticating security on your WordPress site. So how you get to those, and I'll put this in the chat where how you get to them. You just basically would go to the api.wordpress.com/salt, secret key salt, and you can just keep refreshing this until you find a set of keys that looks interesting and you think you want to use. Someone posts this in the chat, and you would basically grab all these keys and you would put those keys into this. After now this is what the WordPress, the WP config file that we downloaded from the server, and now we're uploading it back to the server. We put the salt keys in. So I haven't actually installed WordPress yet on Lori's, so I'll grab the new salt keys. I just popped in here and put them in. And now we're going to go ahead and upload this file to Lori's server. You see that I have a prefix here of Z4G, and I've already added the XML security down there. So upload the file to the server. That's in place. And now we can go ahead and set up WordPress. Any questions so far? Wait a minute, I hate that when happens. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that would be my error. Okay, so let me just go back, find that file again. All right, I put the wrong SQL database username. So now we should be good to go. Now, most people use admin as a username, and I'm going to use admin now, but this is not what you want as your username. So I'm going to show you our quick and easy process. There's two things that you want to do in securing your WordPress site. First off, you do not want to use a username like admin. And secondly, you do not want the first user to be user ID equals 1. So we're first going to install using admin and user ID equals 1, and then we're going to delete that user and add a new admin user so that we've fixed one other big problem, which is the admin name in there and also user ID number 1. So let's just do that. And it doesn't matter what your security is on this one, because we're just installing WordPress and making it so that we can quickly go in and get rid of the name that we currently have. So let's log into this. And now we're going to go to users, add new. We'll add our new user. Whatever it happens to be. I don't like the word admin anywhere. And then we're going to pop in a more secure password. So all of our passwords, when we do secure passwords, we use things like dollar signs and pound signs and things like that. We're going to go ahead and set this as the administrator. One of the things that we first do, as we have told you before, in setting up a WordPress site for use with the Ninja plugins, one of the first things we're going to do is going to go in here to General and make sure we set the time zone correctly. Because if we don't set the time zone correctly and you do install things like Ninja Notifier, then your time zone is going to be sending to whatever time zone was set originally when you installed Ninja Notifier. So I'm going to first start off and drop in my time zone, which is Chicago. And then the next thing we're going to do before we finish up is to do the permalinks. Now, one thing with respect to permalinks, sometimes if you're using some of the Ninja plugins, and it doesn't only relate to Ninja plugins, but if you're using a plugin, and whether it's a Ninja plugin or anything else, and you get a 404 error for a page that you know should be there, let's say, for instance, it's a contest that you just started up, or it might be Permalist Ninja that you just started up. If the first time you know that page is supposed to be there, you set up the plugin properly, and it gives you a 404 error when you go to view the page, the first thing you should do is come over here to permalinks, change it first to default from post name, and then change it back to post name, save changes, and then go look at that same link again. 90+% of the time, that will fix the issue. A lot of times when you first install WordPress, depending on the speed of your server, depending on a wide variety of other factors, your site, when you first set it up and you selected post name, it may not have written the instructions to the htaccess file that says use post name. So by coming in here later, when you find that 404 error, and changing it to default and then changing it back to post name, you'll see this permalink structure updated message, and then 90+% of the time that will fix the problem, and it will have pushed the right instructions over and written the instructions over on the htaccess file. So now that we've done those things, we've updated the extra user. I'm going to log out of admin. I'm going to log back in with the new admin that we created. And now we're going to go over here to users. And we're going to see if I hover over this user, see down here at the bottom where the text where it shows the link. If I hover over that user, you see it says user ID equals 1. We're basically eliminating that so that when people are looking for that to try to break into our site, they can't find a user ID equals 1. So we're eliminating that backdoor. So we're deleting that. We don't really need any content attributed to it because the two pieces of content that would be attributed to it would be the Hello World post, the About page, actually 3, and then the comment on the Hello World. So now we're done. We're 100% done. We've done basically from start to finish, not including the uploading the files process, because on Lori's server it took, I think, 30-something minutes to upload. On our servers for Rackspace, it typically takes us about 10 to 15 minutes to upload. But in either case, without doing that, this whole process of manually installing a secure version of WordPress, and now this is not the same level of security that we do on our things like our Ninja Web Tools site and other client sites, but this is get you about 85% of the way there as far as security goes. You'll be a lot less of a target to people, and you'll prevent most of the minor break-ins that are out there. If somebody really wants to hack into your site and they are putting all their energy and resources into hacking into you, even the level of security that we use on our sites is not going to prevent them from doing that. But this gets you 85 to maybe 90% of the way there as far as security goes. The entire process from start to finish, once the files are uploaded on the site, is 5 to 7 minutes to set everything up to make sure you have a secure user and you're up and running and ready to go. So let me open it up and see if I have any questions here. Yes, I will provide to you guys the Security Ninja section of the WP config file so that you can have that. Now, if you have an existing, if you have existing WordPress already set up, and you don't want to start from scratch, then there's a couple things you could do. Let's take a look at one of these things. So first off, when you go, let me address your question in a minute, Ron. Let me go back in here to Lori's server real quick. Now, I want to just note one more thing. When WordPress updates automatically in the background, yes, we do have a standard set of plugins that we install, and I'll show that to you in a minute. And we install all of our standard plugins and our standard themes all at once when we first upload the files to the server, to prevent us from having to manually touch everything multiple times. But when WordPress updates by itself automatically in the background, so when it rolls from 3.91 to 3.92, etc., you'll know that one thing you need to do to maintain the level of security that you currently have is you're going to have to log into your WordPress FTP and manually delete the license.txt file and the readme.html file, because WordPress pushes that out every time back to your site. I know that myself and several other WordPress developers have asked WordPress multiple times over the last several years to, hey, please don't include those files because it makes us an easier target. And they're like, yeah, but people that aren't developers like you guys need that information. So they're not going to remove it anytime soon. So just remember that when you see that your site's being updated, just take a few minutes and log into all your FTP sites and delete those 2 files. So now let's take a look at Ron's question, which is, if you already have a site set up, how can you retrofit the code? I'm going to go back into Coda, which is my editing tool. And essentially, it depends on 2 factors, Ron. You might end up with, on your WP config, you might end up with no salt information here at all. It's likely that the salt will be there, but it's possible that it's not there. If there's salt there, you can just leave the salt that's there. One thing that's a little bit harder to change is this database prefix. When you change that, this is not for the faint of heart because it needs to be changed. You can't just change it on this file for a site that's already installed and you're done with it. There are actually a couple plugins that will help you manage the process of changing your database table prefix for a site that's already set up. I'll put those plugins in the in our group inside Facebook so that you have access to them. But one thing to note, all those plugins that I'm going to refer you to always have other things that they want you to do. So there's 2 things you want to make sure you never do with a WordPress site, especially if you're using a Ninja plugin. If you're using a Ninja plugin, we require all the core files of WordPress. And when you use plugins like W3 Total Cache or Advanced Cache or any of those caching plugins, or you use plugins that say prevent any strange character URLs from showing up, then you're eliminating the ability to use any of the Ninja plugins. For instance, on the Ninja Notifier, you'll notice, actually most of our plugins, you'll notice a question mark after the URL. And that pops up the ability for our URL to use variables. And some plugins eliminate the ability to use a variable. There's no way for you to use most of the Ninja plugins without a variable option. So when you use some of those plugins, actually I'll try to put together a little video of the plugins that I'm going to put up for you as far as manipulating your existing WordPress site to add that extra security and tell you what things you can safely use and turn on and which things you should leave off using that plugin. So that way it'll help you out. The other thing you can do at any time is you can add this Security Ninja code to the bottom of all your files. Actually, I'll paste it into the chat so you have it handy. It's not going to affect any existing site that you have. Just slap it into the bottom of your WP -config file, and instantly it'll add this extra buffer of security for you. So let me go through some of the standard plugins that we install on our WordPress sites. I'm going to go into our now you should notice that this has WordPress 3.9, and that's what we install by default on all of our installs for ourselves and our clients. Not that we can't spend the time of updating 3.9.1, but there's no sense for us to do that because the core files that we're updating here Once we do the automatic update with WordPress to 3.9.1 or above, the original files that we originally added security to will still stay in place. So we don't bother with that. And the reason that we still have 3.8.2 and 3.8 here is we have a few clients that have either themes or plugins that have not been upgraded to WordPress 3.9 yet, and we still maintain these older versions just to make sure that we can help that client out if they accidentally hit the fat button and upgrade their site and then realize, oh, all the custom settings that they had just went down the toilet. So when we go into WordPress content and we go into the plugins and the themes, actually we upload by default. So we actually have this backup creator, and actually I'm going to delete this because we're actually no longer using this plugin anymore. We're now using a service called Manage WP to manage all of our backups and etc. So the plugins that we install is this worker, which is for the Manage WP service. And I can actually log into that. I'll show you what that looks like real quickly for you in a minute. Then we add the 5-second maintenance mode. It's made by the same people that do the 5-second redirect. We like the 5-second redirect because it's by and large the easiest redirect to use out there. Definitely one of the least expensive ones out there. It's $9 on CodeCanyon.net, and we use the 5-second maintenance mode because the 5-second maintenance mode is something that we've actually altered the 5-second maintenance mode in this setup here that incorporates it directly with Ninja Notifier. So if we put any one of our sites into maintenance mode, it shows people that the site is under maintenance right now, and if they want to be notified when the site goes live again, they click the Ninja Notifier button to be added to our list, and then they'll be notified via Ninja Notifier when the site's live again. So we've done a little bit of customization to that to do that. Where are we at? So the Duo WordPress, this is another security plugin that we have with a company called Duo Security, and that gives us the ability to, from our iPhone, control who has admin rights access to any of our sites. I think we're currently managing for ourselves and our customers in the neighborhood of north of 250. I think it's closer to 280 sites right now that we're managing for our customers and ourselves. Well, actually, way more than that because we have about 180 just for ourselves. So it's probably closer to 300 sites now. So Duo WordPress allows us an extra layer of security. We have our own personal IP address here in my office. Alexa, Harold, Shannon, all of our programmers, their individual static IP addresses are hard-coded into the Duo Security website, so they don't have to log in at all. But if somebody happened to come in from a remote location, let's say one of our developers is working from Starbucks one day, they would actually we would get a message on our phone saying, hey, do you want to let Joe Schmo into the site? And unless they have called us in advance saying, hey, I'm working from Starbucks, we're not going to let them into the site. Security Ninja and the Security Core Ninja Scanner, we upload those by default, but we've actually added all the features in that these two plugins scan for. So we're actually not enabling these anymore on any of our sites. The End Builder is a plugin that used to be that's actually called InstaBuilder, but it doesn't work really well with WordPress 3.9 anymore. And the ninjas are in process of building out a new landing page. This basically builds landing pages. So the ninjas are in the process right now of building out a new landing page application that will integrate seamlessly with Ninja Notifier, and let people build landing pages that will put people on either an email list or a Ninja Notifier list. So we're actually going to be removing that from our upgrade, from our automatic install path in the future. And then obviously the plugin, which is the Easy Theme and plugin upgrades, we still use that for a handful of plugins that are not our own. For instance, we're not using it in our default setup, but sometimes we use the Royal slider, and the Royal sliders also from Code Canyon. They do not have an auto installer with WordPress. So when we update them, having the Easy Theme and plugin upgrades is handy, because if you're not using Easy Theme and plugin upgrades and you want to upgrade a WordPress plugin or a theme, you have to delete that theme or that plugin from WordPress before you can upload the upgrade. So this helps prevent you from having to do that. And then obviously we run Akismet in all of our websites to prevent comment spam. Then as far as themes go, we have just the 2014. We've deleted all the other ones. When you first download 3.9 or 3.9.1, it'll have 2012, 2013, 2014 in there. We delete those other ones because we're never going to use them. There's a theme that we use. It's called Blank. We use that a lot as a theme that on any one of our Ninja sites that we're not actually going to be rolling out to the public. That's our go-to theme, and we've done some customization to that as well. When you're looking at themes, there are some customization that you're going to want to make to themes to add additional security in there. And so that would be one reason of having this other plugin, the Security Ninja plugin. Because if you have the Security Ninja plugin installed, it'll tell you which pages of your theme need to be modified to make sure that your theme is secure. But we've already done all those modifications to Blank, and so when we upload, that's why we don't really need the Security Ninja. But if you wanted to buy the Security Ninja, it's also available from the same people that make the 5-second redirect and the 5-second maintenance mode. Great programmers. These guys maintain and update their plugins as religiously as we do ours. So I can definitely give them good recommendation. If you're going to do that, then the only one we really need to get is the Security Ninja. I believe it's about $20. They have two additional add-ons. They have this core file add-on, which, as far as I'm concerned, is mostly a waste. It basically scans your WordPress site to make sure that no core files have been changed. But the problem with that is because we've done customization in the core files, like the security code that you're adding to the WP config and some other features, it always throws up an error. And so you'll get an email telling you that the core files have changed. And then when you go and you FTP and you look at the core file, you're like, that's a change I made for security. So we ended up wasting a lot of time tracking down those core file changes. So it's not worth, for me anyway, it's not worth the money. The other file that they have is this plugin, which is a scheduled scanner add-on. We don't use that either because our managed WordPress file handles all of that for us. So let me see if there's any questions, and then I'll show you what managed WordPress does for us. Yeah, NBuilder is InstaBuilder. We sometimes will change the file name for the plugins we're uploading, so that our team knows that we've done some customization to that file. So in the case of NBuilder, in the case of InstaBuilder, when we did the NBuilder, we added the ability to use Ninja Notifier in there, and we also found some coding errors from the original developers that were causing an issue in the titles. So we actually went and fixed those things too. So obviously, we wanted to make sure that when our programmers were looking at our files and stuff, they knew which version they were looking at without having to look at every single line of code. So that's the reason why we rename some of these plugin files from other people. So, are there any questions with respect to our core theme and plugins? And if not, then I'll dive into our managed WP service that we use and show you what that does. And you may decide to use it or not use it. I'm going to grab a drink of water while you guys are thinking about questions. I still got 6 people here, so I guess you guys are asleep. Okay, we'll have a replay up in a couple of hours. Okay, I'm going to go into Manage WP and get logged in there. Let me see. One. All right, get the right window here. And Manage WP basically allows us to manage the updating of our WordPress sites so that we don't have to do it manually. It tracks themes, plugins, WordPress editions. It tracks security issues. It does backups for us, a whole bunch of other things. I hate that when that happens. Hang on a second. All right, so Managed WP is such that because you have access to all your sites, and we haven't loaded all 300 sites into Managed WP, but we do have 30 or 40 or 50 as we're testing it out. But because they do that, they actually send you a verification email to make sure that you are who you say you are, and you're not just trying to hack into somebody's plethora of sites. So that's why there's this extra security step in here. So if I didn't have access to my email, I wouldn't be able to get in there. So first thing it's going to do is going to scroll through all of our sites and verify that it can connect. That's what that worker plugin was for. And it's also, while it's doing all this, it's taking a look at the status of all these sites. Are their plugins up to date? Are the WordPress up to date? Are there issues with too much overhead in the database and a few other things that it does out of the box. So we have one that failed, so we have to go and reinstall the worker plugin on that one. But if I go over here to this is my main dashboard for everything. So it shows me here when I log in that out of my 27 websites that it currently can connect to, 6 of my sites, WordPress is out of date. So this means that some of these sites we're still using, some of the sites we're using for really old plugins. And if you clicked on one, you'll be able to find that actual page. So this, for instance, this 3.73 for this T is, we still have 2 or 3 people still using T Ninja Pro out there. So it is only valid up to version 3.73. So that's the reason that hasn't been upgraded. If I wanted to upgrade all these at the same time, I can just click Update All, and it would log in automatically and update all these WordPress installs. Similarly, here's all the plugins that need to be updated. Some of these are not our sites, and some of these are ones that, for instance, on this Royal Slider, you cannot use an automatic update, so it does require to go through and download it and then manually upload it as well. But on the themes, this is not one of our sites. I'll have to talk to one of the guys on the call here if he wants to update to Optimize Press. But we can do this update here for this 2014. Just click Update All, and that's a site we couldn't log into before. So never mind, that's why that didn't work. But here's the post revisions. So here's all the sites that we're keeping track of. You might find you might have a situation where you've never deleted your post revisions on your site, and that's slowing your site down tremendously. We had one of our client sites that was on here. They had 540 something post revisions that dated way back to like 3 years ago. They'd never been cleaned up, and they were never going to use them again. So there's no reason to keep them. So if you just hit the clean, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to do it along with the table overhead. So right now the table overhead is 64 megabytes of extra memory being used on your database tables. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean all these at one time, and most of it should clean up, except for that one site that we can't connect to right now because I have to update that plugin. But it went then through so quickly, it took care of all the overhead and the post revisions. And if I update the dashboard, we should see that database overhead back down from 61 megabytes should be down to something more reasonable, like 4 megs or something like that, or maybe even lower. So it still has some overhead. Where's this overhead at? Yeah, so Ninja Web Tools is always using a lot of overhead. I can clean that one manually. The other thing here is across all these sites, it shows you how many page views you have on, this is not Google Analytics. This is their software tracking how many page views you have on your site compared to previous times that they were there. So it's kind of cool to kind of look at this without having to log into Google Analytics. And then the other things you can do with this is obviously you can set up backup tasks. You can do a security check on a site. So for instance, let's say we want to do a check on this site. We can it will go out and query all the black listed sites that are out there, and verify that your site is not being attacked or whatever. Anytime any one of those sites gets attacked, we have monitors set up. It'll automatically ring our team to let us know that somebody's trying to penetrate through our outer wall. But yeah, it's a quick down and dirty. It's not blacklisted, no iframes, etc., yada yada yada, and it just kind of goes through and verifies through all these sites that they believe your site is nice and clean. So that's why we use the managed WP. The one interesting thing with the managed WP is now you'll notice we have 28 sites over here. But if you go over my account, it shows we're only using 7 out of 10 licenses. And the reason that happens is when you have, for instance, we have dev.ninjapr.com here, and then we have dev.ninjapr.com/NN agency, and it only counts everything under dev, anything in subfolders under a domain. It only counts the top level domain against your account. So of these sites, most of our sites are subfolders under the main dev.ninjapr.com. So for you guys that are running now with the new changes to Facebook's API that requires the notifier and all the Ninja plugins to be on the same domain or series of subfolders under that same domain, this might be a great service for you to use because you really only have to get one. You'd probably have to only get 1 or maybe up to 5 licenses if you wanted to manage other sites to quickly make sure that all your sites were safe and secure and backed up and all that other stuff. This backs up automatically to. We have it backing up to Dropbox and also up to iDrive, and it'll also go to Google Drive. So there's a wide variety of options here as far as backing up. It can also back up to your own server where you have your files, and they can also use this to clone a site if you wanted to, etc. So there's a wide variety of options here. Let me see if there's any questions. No questions yet. Did I bore anybody? All right, let me just quickly go into what we do with our Rackspace servers. And we're actually using multiple products at Rackspace. So all of our sites are hosted at in one of our multi-cloud sites accounts. So I'm going to log into one of our cloud sites accounts here, and oops. Log in here. Okay. So the interesting thing with cloud sites is a monthly fee of $150 allows you to host as many sites as you want on your cloud sites account. So I'm going to log into this cloud sites account, and here on this one we have 115, which are mostly Ninja sites, and a handful of some of our smaller client sites are on here. But it's pretty easy to go in and see. You can separate all your accounts into sub accounts if you want to, and it's very fast to set up a brand new site. And then inside the rest of Rackspace, we are using got a lot of Rackspace accounts here. Inside the rest of Rackspace, inside our Snafu account, we are using dedicated database. So here's our MySQL database, which is a 8 gig database with currently 2 gigs of dedicated RAM to the database. So it allows our database to be really fast. We're using a file server, which all of our image files, all of our software, all of the stuff that we download to our client sites all the time is hosted actually in Akamai's cloud servers. So the content delivery network. Inside the content delivery network, the CDN, basically the way our sites work is if you're sitting, let's say, who's on the call? Let's see who's on the call here. Somebody I recognize here. Okay, so, David, you're on the East Coast, so let's say I forget where you're at. I think you're in New Jersey or North Carolina, one of those places. Let's say North Carolina, just for safety's sake. Right now, if you go to any one of our sites, the only thing that comes to you from our server that is in Dallas are the straight HTML and PHP files. All the images come to you from the server that is close to you. So let's say you're in Charlotte. There's a Akamai server, CDN server in Charlotte. So all of our images, all of our data, all of our images, all of our CSS files, all of our videos, all of our downloads like the applications, etc., are spread across. There's a duplicate copy of all of those files on 70,000 servers in 300 different countries, or 300 different locations. 300 different locations. So when you are receiving the files from one of our sites, the HTML gets to you really quickly because those are small files. And then the videos and the images come to you from the server that's closest to where you are at this point in time. So, for instance, I want to open one of our client sites right now. This is a Visit Berkeley site, and the Visit Berkeley site. Let's see how quickly this website loads. So that's a 5.4 megabyte file size, and the entire site. Even if I clear the cache and reload the site, it loads really super quick. So the entire site was downloaded in less than 7 seconds, and all these files are sitting on our content delivery network. And most people are not going to have a 5 megabyte file size, but the faster your site loads, the more frequently Google will index your site, and the slower your site loads, at some point Google's going to say, this site's too slow, we're not going to look at it anymore. So from an SEO perspective, it's critical that our sites load really quickly. So that's why we use the cloud files. And the other things we use over at Rackspace is we use load balancers. So a load balancer basically does is we have a load balancer here for one of the largest not wineries, but one of the largest wine distributors in the country. They are owned by the people that own Louis Roeder, Champagne, etc. So for them, it's critical that their site is up all the time. Not only up all the time, but no one ever gets this site can't load error or waiting or etc. So what we do is we use a load balancer so that as people come in through the site, when they come in, it splits out the traffic across multiple instances of that exact same site. So if, say, they sent 500 people to the site today, and then all of a sudden tomorrow they get 5,000 people, those 5,000 people are going to be spread across multiple copies of the exact same site, so they all have a fast web experience. So that's all I have. I'm going to open up the line if anyone has any questions. This was informational and good for you guys to know. Lori, if you stand in line for me for a few seconds, I'm going to give you a gift for letting us use your uh, server. Since we don't have, I open everybody's line here. Um, any questions for anybody? From anybody? Unmute Lori here. So Rackspace, Lori, Rackspace is $150 a month for the cloud sites portion. We're paying a little bit more than that because we have a dedicated database and we have the file server and load balancers. But I think we're paying for all the stuff that we're currently using. We're paying about $400 a month, thereabouts. But you can easily do the cloud sites by itself. As I said, on our cloud, on this cloud sites account, we have 115 sites being hosted on there. So, and we're charging our clients to host their sites. So if we only had cloud sites, we would be making some really nice income from our hosting. Prior to moving to cloud sites, we had dedicated servers at Rackspace. When we had our dedicated servers at Rackspace, with everything that we're currently spending right now with Rackspace, before when we had the dedicated servers, we were spending about $2,800 a month. So we've been able basically to take our $2,800 a month expense at Rackspace and reduce it down to about $400 a month. So I think we're just under 400, 380 or so. It includes all the things we currently have at Rackspace. And you probably don't need, I mean, most people are not going to need what we need. We probably don't need an 8 gigabyte dedicated cloud database server. We could probably get away with doing a 6 gigabyte server, or maybe even a 4 gigabyte server. But we wanted to make sure that we had optimal throughput and stuff like that. So, Lori, on the line? Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good,
Can you hear
cool.
me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. All right, so let me ask you a quick question because I'm going to give you a gift for stepping up, and I think it was you and Pat and one or two other people popped in there to pony up their servers. So thank you very much for that. Um, what type of business are you in, Lori?
I do marketing and lead generation for businesses.
Okay, okay. Are you currently doing anything in Teespring at all?
I was for a while, but I'm not doing it right now.
Okay, okay. Um, so I was going to offer you one of our new tools for Teespring. But if you're not using Teespring, there's no sense
Well,
in me giving you that tool.
yeah, I just kind of, when there was all the flux around it about 6 or 8 weeks ago, I decided to kind of let it settle down and then decide if I wanted to get back in.
Yeah, yeah. We're pretty much the same way. I mean, we've dabbled with it. I say really, really, very lightly dabbled with it. And the reason we've only lightly dabbled with it because bottom line, we still have a couple hundred customers that we still have to maintain. So it's hard for us to put time and energy and resources into managing T-shirts when we have hundreds of customers that we have to support. But
Yeah, and I do a lot of Facebook marketing anyway, so I thought, I should be able to do pretty well with the Teespring, but it's not really my core business. So I
yeah,
felt
it's
I was
definitely
kind of
it's
getting
not our.
distracted.
Yeah, exactly. It's not our core business either. Albeit the fact that last week we set up, I think, 14 campaigns. I think that I didn't do it. I mean, one of our team members did it. So I think we set up 14 campaigns. It took, from what I remember, it took about 4 hours to do all the work, and we made $2,800.
Well, can't complain
So
about that.
no, yeah, you can't complain about that. And actually, now one of the guys in our group, Jr., told me how to get Teespring to automatically deposit it straight into our bank account.
Yeah,
So,
I picked up on that trick too.
and that was, I mean, what I didn't like is I didn't like sitting on the sideline waiting forever for money to come, and I didn't want to have to pay PayPal money for my money.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that, that's fine. Do you have the Funnel Ninja?
No, I don't think so.
All right, we'll get you a copy of Funnel Ninja then.
Okay.
And let me just give a quick. Actually, we'll do one better. We'll give you a copy of the PNN Funnel Ninja. And let me just give a quick demo of what the PNN Funnel Ninja does, and then that might, give you some ideas. Um, as you see in our setup for the Dev Ninja PR right here, this is logged into the Rackspace server here, and here alone in just this setup, these are all subfolders. Every single one of them has WordPress, at least one version of WordPress installed. So just here, there's a probably down here's 20 something there, and then if we go into like the NN, obviously the inside the Ninja Notifier version of it, there are another 20 plus um, copies of WordPress installed. So it's a very handy way. We're running one SSL certificate to basically secure 70, 80, 90 plus websites.
I mean, $150, it sounded like a lot, but when you think about, you charge a client $50, $60 a month for hosting.
Yeah, we charge our clients $100 a month for hosting. Um,
Yeah, so
and
it's not
and
that much.
so yeah, so even if, let's say, you weren't charging your customers $100 a month, we charge all of our customers who do WordPress $25 a month for WordPress hosting. So what is that going to take? That's going to take you 6 customers to break even.
Hmm.
It's a no brainer. And then you're going to end up with the nice thing I like about Rackspace is 24/7, 365. Not only they do the answer the phone, but they also have every possible department is staffed 365. So we never have to. We've never ever, and we've been hosting now with them for 12 plus years. Maybe I think going on 14 years. I keep forgetting, but we have a very low account number with them. They've been there a long time. Um, we've never ever had somebody say, "Oh, the person you need is off. They'll be back on Monday," or "The person you need is not working on graveyard shift." There's somebody there for every possible thing that could possibly go wrong, or every type of service. There's somebody there on staff working. So that's one thing I really like, especially when you're supporting customers, because you never know when your
Yeah.
customer site's going to break down. And the caliber of customers that we have, and not saying that anyone else has lesser caliber customers, but our customers expect that their site is going to run 24/7.
Hmm.
And it's none of our customers are going to say, Oh yeah, sure, Ron. It's okay if it doesn't get fixed till Monday, especially our tourism bureau sites, or like this, yeah, like Visit Berkeley. That's the tourism bureau for the city of Berkeley. They're expecting that their customers are going to be able to find things to do on the weekend.
Right.
It's not acceptable for the website to be down all weekend long because the tech is not available until Monday. All right, so let's take a look at the funnel. And this is just a test funnel. And there probably are t-shirts on this, but this is not a, yeah, there's t-shirts on there, but this is not a design for t-shirts. The programmers just throw t-shirts up there because it was an easy image to get. But we basically created this funnel series, the PNN funnel, so that you would be able to run it with your small businesses. So what we're going to be doing with it is what we've started doing with it already is running it for our chambers of commerce and running it for our um, various deals pages, etc.
Okay.
Is put the coupon or put the offer in this space where the shirt is right now, and then instead of having buy it now inside the dashboard, you would change that to be claim this deal or get the offer. There's just changes too, and you can turn on the Facebook comments, and where this contest list is, you can put in a Ninja Notifier, or if you have PNN, a PNN link in here, and then you can either have a contest button or a list button, or you can upload your own button if you don't want to use either one of our buttons. So I'm going to save this page again and show you the update. And this actually hasn't been sold to anybody yet. So we actually have one or two beta testers out there with it, and then the Ninja team. So no one has their hands on it. So you're going to be the first person out the door with it on your
All right.
belt. So let me refresh this page. So what this does, okay, so you got the click on get the deal. When somebody clicks on that button here, it's going to open up a
Mm-hmm.
brand new page, and I'm gonna do it on yeah, I'll do it actually on this one right here because you'll see this right now is green, right?
What am I looking at? Which one's green?
Right here. You see my mouse?
Okay.
See this
Okay.
one right here? My mouse. Okay.
Yep.
So this is green. It says 20 and it's 79. So this is basically the number of people that have claimed the deal and how many deals were left. So you can set inside the back end how many deals each one of your merchants wants to give away to actually collect. So you want to make sure that you don't want to send 1,000 people to somebody and they're like, oh man, we're out of business now because we don't have
Mm-hmm.
enough deals. So you just, with your chamber of commerce or your deals page, you can set in the back end for each individual deal. You can set up how many there are, and just like our promo list ninja, you can set up a how many people have claimed it number to start off with, because no one really wants to be the first person to claim.
Right. Right.
So I always set it up so that you can put a fake number down there to make it look like, oh my god, people are claiming that thing left and right. I want to get in on that. Um, so you can set that up, and you can run as many as 20 um, deals at one time per funnel. And you can run as many funnels as you want on a single site. So you could have a funnel for, let's say, all your pizza joints, a separate funnel, say, for a specific chamber of commerce or a specific business, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and claim this deal. It'll open up a new page. And just watch this page for just a split second. See, it's refreshing in the background.
Yep.
That's the original page. It's refreshing the background. If we go back down here, now it says 19 and 80. And the reason this is now red is because we have less than 20% of the deals left.
Okay.
So it's just a little thing to give people a little like, oh my God, there's only 19 left. I better take action. Boom. And then we also have the Facebook comments on the bottom, so you can do that. And when I tick the little button in the back, it gave us the ability to have Ninja Notifier hooked up, and you'd be able to put people on your list. You can change all the content. This is the title from the original page, but you can change all this content here, and you can add your own images in it. It is 100% compatible with WordPress 3.9, so you can add images in here as well. But we really designed it to basically keep the bulk of the stuff above the fold, and this is also responsive. So, somebody happens to pop onto their mobile site, they on their mobile phone rather, you'll be able to see it on their mobile phone.
Okay, so I'm thinking about it.
What are you thinking about it?
I'm going to mull it over, other than the Chamber of Commerce, which I think I have an idea for that. And I'll see what I can do with it.
Yeah, no problem. So
Looks awesome. No, it looks, sorry, the wine.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I would love to have wine too, but I don't think that my codeine and wine mix well together.
Better than you might think.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that I'm going to do that anyway. So,
No.
yeah. So good. Okay. Well, great. So Jody popped in and he has a quick question. How does so Jody wants to know? I'm going to mute you again for a minute if you don't mind, there, Lord. All right. So Jody wants to know, how does running this many sites or installs, what does it do to our CPU usage? Now, I cannot speak to what it does to your CPU usage at your setup on your shared server, but let me show you what happens on Rackspace. The best thing to do is give you a little example, and I don't really want to promote Rackspace too much, but I'm going to just kind of show you what happens for us, and then you can kind of make your own analogy from there. I'm just going to go to their handy dandy how cloud services works, so that you can see what their thing does. So we're not using cloud servers at Rackspace. We're actually using Cloud Sites, which is a special product. You see right here, starting at $150 a month. And here's how it works. So in the setup, you upload your site once, and you see over here, these are the people coming to your site. So if you notice that if it doubled, you ended up with 3 sites. If it quadruples, you end up with 4 sites, etc. So the more and more people that come to your site at the same time, the more that Rackspace will roll out a brand new version of your exact same site onto a new cloud, so that you can manage and maintain the load. So what, in talking to the program managers of Rackspace, and I've gone down to Rackspace several times. They're basically an hour and 45-minute drive from my house. So what they basically tell me is they can handle up to 50,000 concurrent users without any advance notice. So, if all of a sudden we're doing a launch, for a site that you wanted to get a lot of people out to, they can handle all that traffic without you doing an extra step. If you have anything over the 50,000, they would like to have an advance warning to let them know. Oh, by the way, we're going to send a boatload of traffic. But that said, the Rackspace cloud sites that we currently host all of our stuff on is the same cloud sites that Rackspace used for the launch of the iPhone 5. So the iPhone 5 launch web stream went across Rackspace cloud sites, and they had 5 million people on the first day watching the live streamed event of the iPhone 5. So if they can handle that, I figure they can handle anything the ninjas can throw at them. So that and hopefully answers your question, Jody. So as Jody says, WordPress can definitely be a big usage hog, and that's the reason why I also say in the very beginning, we've said it multiple times before, and I'm going to keep saying this until you guys get it. You cannot use things like Advanced Cache or W3 Cache or any of those caching plugins for WordPress, because when you cache a Ninja plugin, what you're doing is you're eliminating the ability for somebody to get to the second page of, let's say, a contest. They'll never see that page because the original page was cached using that caching plugin, and the server, when it returns back the response saying, okay, show the second page, no one will ever see it. So that's why we don't want you to use caching plugins. But on that note, many of your web hosting companies, and that's why they want you to use Fantastico and those auto installers, is because when you use those auto installers, you are allowing them to limit the CPU, the cache, the bandwidth, some of the features, etc. of WordPress. I think I have still a screenshot here from somebody else's site. Let me see if I have it handy here. Here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is somebody we had from a previous ticket. And on their site, their web hosting company had installed 3 drop-ins. They were adding the most we ever seen before this particular person's ticket was 1 drop-in. But this company that they were using for their hosting had added 3 sets of limitations to each and every one of their WordPress sites. So that is something that we definitely, that's why you want to manually upload your files to WordPress. Set it up as you saw. It's a pretty, simple process. The longest time it's going to take you is the actual process of uploading the files to the server. But once you create a custom setup, you can do it pretty quickly, and you're up and running like that. Jody, we basically tell you not to alter any core functionality of WordPress. Period. We use Ajax. Jody's question was, how do you control WP admin Ajax.php? Does Ninja use Ajax? We use every single core functionality of WordPress. Period. Every single one of our WordPress plugins uses Ajax. As you notice, when you go into, let's go over here. When we go into Ninja Notifier, and bottom line is don't alter the core functionality of WordPress. But I'm going to show you the Ajax that we currently use inside, just the Ninja Notifier, if nothing else. So when you go to the leads and apps page, you'll notice up here that this URL is fixed. And when we go to any one of these additional tabs, this is all using Ajax to display this information. This URL has never changed, but yet we're seeing lots of extra information. We go to subscribers and we click on each and every one of these. This is all using Ajax to display all the other new sets of information that's showing up on the bottom of this page. So this is all using Ajax. You cannot alter any of the core functionality of WordPress. If you alter the core functionality of WordPress, then you're on your own. We're definitely not going to, we'll still support you, but you just can't do it. Don't do it. Leave your paws off the, if you want to alter the core functionality of WordPress, then don't use Ninja plugins, because we use every single piece of core functionality that allows our plugins to not have to be updated every single time WordPress makes a change, because we're using the core functionality of WordPress. Plugins that are out there, a lot of plugins that are out there, guys have written their own special jQuery, and congratulations to them. They put a lot of time and effort into creating their own jQuery. So the next time WordPress rolls out 3.9.2, then those guys will have to go out and recreate their plugin because WordPress made a change to jQuery, and they're not using the core built-in jQuery. They're using a custom setup of jQuery. It's just not a good idea to alter the core functionality of WordPress. Sorry, don't mean to rail on you here, but that's how that's how we roll. So we use a lot of Ajax. Okay, Reggie wants to know when we're going to roll out. I guess when you're asking when the PNN funnel, when the funnel is going to be available to everybody else, we'll probably make it available to everybody else next week. Funnel Ninja itself, the regular Funnel Ninja, which is not the one I showed you, is currently available. So there is a Funnel Ninja out there that is currently available. It doesn't have all the features that this one has. The current Funnel Ninja is actually specifically for t-shirt, Teespring area. So let me show you that real quick. So we actually have two funnels. Funnel Ninja for t-shirts and PNN Funnel Ninja. So let me just go in and show you quickly the PNN funnel. So the PNN funnel. So this is basically a funnel for t-shirts. And let me just show you how this works so that you can understand this. And I'm going to pop in. That one's not good. So let's go to Discover. Okay. This is not my t-shirt, but I wish it were. Well, I don't know. But it is a nice little money that the guy's making. So we're going to grab that URL for this Teespring campaign. And I'm going to go into this funnel here. And as you saw from this original funnel here, this is expired. Expired. So I got 6 in there right now. I'm going to go in and add another product. And for those of you that are running Teespring campaigns, this funnel here will help you immensely. We're using it for our campaigns. But let me just go ahead and add a new product. And you saw that I copied a URL from the Teespring. So I copied this campaign URL. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that campaign URL into this link box. And then hit tab. And now it grabs all the information from Teespring. It grabs the title of that campaign. This is the title. And then after I publish a page, you'll see that it also grabbed the shirt image for the front of the shirt. And let me just refresh this page. And here's that campaign. And we're also grabbing the expiration date so that people will be able to see when this campaign expires. And when you click on Buy It Now, it'll take you over to the page on Teespring to make the purchase. So that's the Teespring funnel. It's the t-shirt funnel, I should say. And if you actually, inside the funnel, if you uploaded, I don't know if any of these have a second image yet. Let me see. If you had actually uploaded a second image, then when you roll the mouse over it, it'll rotate around to show you the back or the enlargement or whatever else you uploaded. So that's the T-shirt Ninja, and that is, that's the, all these names are, it's the drugs. This is the Funnel Ninja. This is available right now online. I don't know if there's a, currently a image for it. Somebody asked us to roll this out really for them, and I don't think we put an image up there yet. So let me take a quick look. Yeah, Funnel Ninja doesn't have an image for it right now. And then the other product we already have out there is our Results Ninja. And I'll take that exact same Happy Feet link that I had from before, and I'll show you what Results Ninja does. Here's Results Ninja, and I'm going to pop in Happy Feet. And what it does basically is it shows you what the status of any of your shirts are. So if it's green like this, it means the campaign is live. If it's like here at the bottom, this is gray, so it's already ended. If it's red, that means you have not, your shirt is not met the goal or is not able to tip yet. And if it's green, that means you've already met your goal. If it turns yellow, that means basically that when you're getting close to your deadline on your campaign, you need to submit a ticket to Teespring for them to lower your goal down to the number that you sold, because you can now tip, but you have to put a ticket in for them to tip you. So that's what the Results Ninja is. The handful of people that are using Results Ninja, I do know of 2 people that Results Ninja saved their ass because they had a campaign that was up and running, and the Results Ninja showed it as being yellow, and they were just going about their happy-dory business, and then they were all of a sudden realized that their campaign was about to end, so they went and put a ticket in, and they were able to reduce their goal through Teespring and actually get paid. So That's the quick down and dirty on all those things. Any other questions from anybody about anything? We got everyone still on the call, but I'm not seeing any questions. So if I don't have any questions, blah 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 blah. Yeah, the replay will be uploaded to the members area, and we'll also post it on Notifier once we have it uploaded. Yeah, Jody, that's right. I know you missed the beginning because you weren't going to win anything this time. So I see how you are. Anyone else got a question? If not, I appreciate you guys' time. We'll post the. I can unmute you. Hang on a second. You can say something. You can say something good about all the stuff you've been doing on your side.
Hey, are we there yet?
Yep.
Hey, how you doing, Ron? How's that knee treating you?
The pain meds are doing good. So
you're not using any of that moonshine to doctor with?
Yeah, no, not hardly. So what you got going on your end?
Well, just continuing to move forward with the contest ninjas. This like ninja thing is starting to take off. Starting to see a little bit out of that. I think I'm just about ready to start turning that out to a few of my clients. I think they're really going to like it once they grasp the concept of it. Yeah, hey, things are just they're moving forward. Not as fast as I'd like for them to do, but they're making headway. Can't complain.
You're out in the sticks too, so that's part of the issue.
Yeah, I'm out here where they make that moonshine.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I tell you, this area is so much different because it's such a tourist area, and a lot of the business mindset is totally different around here. It's a lot more of a challenge than being in a typical, typical hometown type atmosphere where most people know most people or what have you. They're not dealing with that tourist concept. That
right.
They're relying on people in their neighborhood. So.
Right.
But hey, I'm loving what you guys are doing. You guys are the best.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. We appreciate the kudos, and I apologize that I haven't been out of the picture here for the last couple of weeks.
Hey, I totally understand. I know what it's like to live with pain on a daily basis.
So now I just get to hobble around on crutches for a month or two. But anyway, yeah, we got a couple new really cool products come down the pike in the next coming couple of weeks, and the all basically centered around additions to the notifier. So, how's your notifier list going?
It's growing. I've got a couple of them, and I'm starting to kind of do a test concept with kind of a generic notifier list, and going to see how that's going to go. To where necessarily people aren't looking for notifications of winning a contest or something like that, but just more or less using it as just as a general notification concept.
Right. Well, we have one of our clients in California is using the notifier as a notification tool for a local fire district. So the fire district is sending out notifications to people on hazard conditions, burn areas, and stuff like that. And then we have one small city is using it for Amber Alerts.
Interesting concepts, interesting thoughts. Especially that fire concept, because we've got so much of that around here in these mountains as a daily concept. As to people, I mean, you'll go to jail around here in a heartbeat if you're burning on the wrong day. So, yeah, interesting thought.
It's a good way to easily communicate, because who's not on Facebook all day long?
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, good. Hey, appreciate you popping in, even though you came in at the 11th hour. But we'll get this replay up here. It takes us about an hour or two to get it processed, so it'll be up probably early in the morning. I may even be up there tonight. Depends on how long it takes me to get it over to Ben or somebody to process it.
Hey, sounds great. And again, I appreciate all you guys are doing. You guys are the best.
Well, thanks very much. We appreciate great customers like you guys to come in and let us know what we need to do to help you guys in your business. So.
No problem.
And
have a great night. Thanks.
I think you started off with correct me if I'm wrong. You started off with winning a contest on the big site, right?
Yeah, it was on Dave Igo's site, the Thursday Think Tank group.
Oh, so you won a contest for
started out with Birthday Notifier.
And I think you got the contest, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
And have since moved on to full-blown Ninja Notifier.
Yeah, now you've rolled it out into a full-fledged business that's earning you money, right?
And looking forward to making more.
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, you guys have a great night, and we appreciate your time on this Friday evening. And David Shopper, I'll give you a ring. Let me see, unmute you real quick and just see. David, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What time's good for you tomorrow?
You're a late person from what I hear.
Well, I'm not so much late. It's more about I need about an hour after I take the pain pills so that I can think. How does something like either 10 a.m. or something like that work for you?
Yeah, 10 is fine.
Okay. I got your number and the ticket. I'll give you a call at around 10 o'clock my time. Be 11
okay, I'll
yours.
be there. 10 o'clock is Eastern time?
No, 10 o'clock Central time. 11 Eastern.
So that'll be what time Eastern?
11 Eastern.
11 Eastern. I'll be here at 11.
Okay, sounds good. You guys have a great night. Thanks, David. Talk to you tomorrow.
Take care, Ron.